Well, good morning, everyone, from the road this morning. I just put a call out, I think a couple of days ago, on my community tab on YouTube for questions, for a question and answer. It's been quite a long time since I've done one. I think it's a bit overdue. This is going to be a bonus video this month. I'm going to try to put out one bonus video per month. So this is in addition to my Sunday videos. I thought it would be fun to start this one while I'm on the road today. I don't know whether I'll wrap it up while I'm on the road, but we'll at least get it started. So let's jump right into it. I received several questions on the same topic, so I'm just going to go ahead and combine those questions and answer them together. I had several questions regarding my truck and how it's performing so far, how I'm feeling about it so far, and I can tell you I am loving it. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on now. Let's see here. I have currently 18,210 miles. I've put over 18,000 miles on it within the first 6 months. Pretty crazy. I have, of course, been keeping up with regular maintenance and oil changes. In fact, it's due for one now, so I'll be taking care of that. It is running great. I absolutely love this truck. The best gas mileage it has received so far is 27.1 miles per gallon. Now, of course, I have not been towing the trailer. I've been traveling in just the truck, so that's definitely helping with the gas mileage. Also, somebody asked me how I keep it so clean, and I'm here to tell you it is not clean. In fact, right now it is filthy. I've been in Montana where there has been very bad pine pollen, so there's pine pollen all throughout the inside and the outside of this truck. It's covered in dust. It needs to be vacuumed in the worst way. I've got millions of dead bugs on the front grille. It's pretty filthy right now. And a very cool story, I'm pretty sure a lot of you have heard of Matt's Off-Road Recovery here on YouTube. Well, I had a situation where it was Cat's Off-Road Recovery with this truck. I was at a boondocking camp in Montana, right outside of Cook City. A gentleman wandered into camp and asked if we had a tow strap. I was with Joey at the time. I did not have a tow strap. I do need to get one. He mentioned he was trying to climb a peak up the mountain. He got stuck in a ditch and he needed help. So we actually packed up our entire camp. We made room for him in the back seat. As we were driving down the mountain to go see if we could find a tow strap in town, we passed another truck. We asked them if they had one. They did not, but they did have a chain, a 30-foot chain. So they let us borrow that. We drove back up the mountain and we were able to pull him out of the ditch with this truck. It worked like a champ. This truck has so much power. It was awesome. Unfortunately, I didn't think to film any of it. This is so gross. There are these huge cricket things all over this rest stop. They're like crickets or grasshoppers on steroids. They're huge. They're everywhere. Yuck. Those bugs are definitely giving me the heebie-jeebies, so I want to get out of this rest stop pretty quickly. A lot of you wanted to get information regarding the shoes that I wear, and here they are. These are La Sportiva Bushido shoes. They are mountain trail running shoes. I really like them because they are lightweight, they have a really good grip, and they dry fast. As many of you pointed out, I do hikes where I walk through the water a lot. And the reason I don't take off my shoes during those hikes is because I'm in and out of the water so much, it just wouldn't make sense. These particular shoes dry really fast. They dry overnight, so usually by the next day they are dry, and sometimes they dry as I'm hiking on the trail if I'm not having to get back in the water again. I pair those with the Darn Tough socks. That's the only socks I wear. They are wool, and the combination of those socks and these shoes, I never get blisters. I would recommend them, but I know that shoes are very highly subjective. Future Cat here. I just had to interrupt this Q&A because last night I slept back on my RV mattress after a month-long expedition for the first time, and I cannot tell you how amazing it was. I have missed my RV mattress. They say absence makes the heart grow fonder, and that is absolutely true when it comes to my RV mattress. What is RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding? RVmattress.com is a Brooklyn Bedding brand known for top-of-the-line quality and comfort. Plus, if you're in the US, they ship conveniently to you for free from their Arizona factory. They offer different firmness options, heights, and dimensions, even RV-specific and non-traditional sizes to fit right into your lifestyle. Back in 2022, when I purchased this 21-foot travel trailer, I was in serious need of a new mattress. The mattress that it came with was horrific. I came across RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding, and that was the beginning of a beautiful relationship. With your RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding mattress, you get a 120-night sleep trial along with a limited lifetime warranty and free shipping to your door if you live in the U.S. The best part about all of this is that Brooklyn Bedding mattresses are designed, assembled, and shipped from their Arizona factory. I really needed a mattress that was comfortable and would help me to get a good night's sleep, especially being on the road so much and changing locations all the time. It really needed to feel like home being in my bed, and that's exactly what I got with RV Mattress. I selected the Signature Hybrid in the short queen size and the medium firmness, and it fits here in my trailer perfectly. It rivals any mattress that you can get for a sticks and bricks home. It is absolutely amazing. If I don't get a good night's sleep, I don't function properly. I am kind of grumpy. I feel sleep deprived, and that is not good. That's why it's so important for me to get a good night's sleep, and I absolutely do on my RV mattress. I absolutely love my RV Mattress by Brooklyn Bedding, and I think you would too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out rvmattress.com. You can click the link below or scan the QR code here to get 30% off your order with code Catherine. Thank you once again, RV Mattress, for sponsoring this video. Now back to the Q&A. Another question that came up multiple times is, will I travel out east? I actually did do a road trip all the way back to Florida back in 2021. Started on the West Coast, went out to Florida. I stopped along the way and did a backpacking trip in the Ouachita area of Arkansas, which I really loved. It was a beautiful trip. However, I have not been back since. I have been back, I just have not filmed it. I've taken a trip to Florida, I've taken a trip to Virginia, I visited family in North Carolina, but I haven't taken a road trip where I shared it with you all here on YouTube. I do not object to going back east or in the eastern part of the US. I would love to do a trip in the Smokies at some point. However, I am just more a fan of the big dramatic mountains that we have out here out west. I think there is a familiarity here out west for me. I know where I can camp. I know where I can't camp. I know that when I did go back east, I did not feel as comfortable as I do here. So it's probably a part to do with that, just that I do have a level of comfort here on the West Coast that I don't have on the East Coast. But I know every now and then you do have to get out of your comfort zone. So at some point I probably will make a trip out there. I did have some people leave some suggestions of places to visit. So if you want to drop some suggestions for me down below, that would be fantastic. Cleaned my windshield, so we should have a little bit better view without the bugs blocking the way. Let's talk about bears. Many of you guys and gals had questions about bears, how I handle my fear of bears, what I do to protect myself, that sort of thing. You might be surprised to know that deer kill more people than bears. I think bear attacks make the news, but they are rare statistically. I've been trying to say that word. I've had to do that take many times over again. Anyhow, yes, I do have a healthy fear of bears, but I don't let it stop me from going out there. I make sure that I do bring bear spray. Somebody asked if I bring firearms. The places where there are grizzlies do not allow firearms because they are mainly national parks. So no, I do not carry a firearm. I do carry bear spray. I do everything that I should do in order to keep a clean camp. I store all of my food items appropriately. I use either a sack or a bear canister or bear boxes if they're available. I cook away from my tent. There are things that you can do to mitigate any contact with a bear. I just wrapped up almost an entire month in grizzly country, either truck camping in the back of my truck or backpacking. So it is something that has been on my mind. I think night is when I think about it most. I'm on high alert. I have my bear spray nearby. I also carry an air horn. That could be a deterrent. If it makes a very loud noise, it could scare the bear off. I did not see any bears in the back country. I saw one grizzly bear in the front country of Glacier National Park and also a grizzly bear in Yellowstone National Park in the front country, but nothing in the back country. I did see black bear in the back country. I did see lots of sign of grizzly, and I know they are there. But if I'm being very honest, I am more concerned about being hurt or harmed in a city, either by a car accident or by a two-legged animal. I think that is much more common than a bear attack. I know my first day or two of backpacking in grizzly country, I am definitely a little bit more nervous, but as time goes on, I relax more. It doesn't mean that I let my guard down, but I do relax more, and I am able to enjoy the trip and not be thinking about bears the entire time. I absolutely enjoy seeing bears from a safe distance. I believe those crickets are called Mormon crickets, and they're all over this portion of the road I'm on. So they're getting smashed by the vehicles driving on this road. Then the birds are coming to eat them, and the birds are almost getting hit by cars, and I'm having to dodge birds. It's a wild world out here. I was asked what my 3 favorite backpacking trips are, and it's definitely hard to pick just 3, so I'm going to give you several. I would say definitely my trip that I just did in Glacier National Park, which was in the Belly River area, is up there with my top favorite, because Glacier is just absolutely stunning. I think it's probably the most beautiful national park in the U.S. There were some unique things about this trip that made it extra special. You'll have to watch that video to see how amazing it actually was, and that is going to be the next video you see. I think the longer trips tend to be my favorite trips. I think I did what was a 6-day trip or 7-day trip on the Lost Coast of California. It's a very remote area of coast up in Northern California. I didn't expect to like that one as much as I did, but it turned out to be one of my very favorite trips. It was very rugged, remote, beautiful, absolutely great trip. There was a trip that I did up in Banff, Canada, which was a 7-day trip. Went over multiple passes. It was absolutely gorgeous. And again, I think those longer trips are just big adventures, so it makes them a little bit more exciting. I'd have to put the Grand Canyon up there. I've done 2 trips in the Grand Canyon, and it is just quite an amazing task to backpack at the Grand Canyon. So those both would have to be up there. And of course, I love the canyons of the Escalante area, like Death Hollow and the Coyote Gulch trips. I've done those ones multiple times. Those are shorter ones, but also very beautiful and incredible. I know there are trips that I'm missing in there, but those are ones that come to mind pretty quickly. Along those lines, someone wanted to know if I had considered the Havasupai Falls backpacking trip. And to be honest with you, I know it is so popular and the permitting process is really a hassle that it hasn't really called to me. I know it's beautiful. I've seen other videos from the Havasupai trek. However, it just isn't something I wanted to deal with in terms of permits and the crowds. Of course, I will have to choose a trip from my beloved Sierra, my home mountain range. So I would say that was the Adiza Lake, Thousand Island Lake Loop. I've done that one a couple of times, and there's still so much area in the Sierra I haven't even explored yet. I feel like I'm doing other trips an injustice by not including them, because there's trips in the Wind River Range. I mean, I've done so many incredible trips. I actually have a playlist of my backpacking trips, and I believe there are almost 70 of them on there, or over 60 for sure. So if you ever want to check that out, I'll go ahead and link that playlist below. I just pulled over here on the side of the road to take a quick pee break and stretch my legs. I mentioned Canada, and someone had asked if I'd be returning to Banff and Jasper, Canada in general, and yes, I absolutely will be. I do have plans to. I love Canada. I have a lot of Canadian viewers, so thank you all up there in the Great White North for viewing the channel. I love the Rockies in general, so that obviously expands to the Canadian Rockies. So yes, I will be back. On a different topic, do I miss my truck camper, and would I recommend a truck camper? I would absolutely recommend a truck camper. They're very cool. I lived in one for 3 years, although that feels like a lifetime ago. The truck camper definitely holds sentimental value with me because it's how I started my life on the road. However, I never removed mine. It always sat on my truck, and that was really hard on my truck to have something that heavy on it all the time. Some of the pluses about it is it was easier to maneuver than it is a travel trailer, towing a travel trailer. However, I'm kind of liking the light and loose aspect of the truck camper shell right now. Things could always change. If I were to get another truck camper, I would probably get a pop-up truck camper. I've been kind of eyeballing those, but they are very pricey, even for used ones. I am pulled over here at another rest area to grab a snack. So I thought I'd answer a question from my friend Mike over at Marmalade Outdoors. Go ahead and check out his channel if you have a chance. He's got a lot of awesome hiking content. He completed the PCT in sections over several years, but he got it all done. Super proud of you, Mike. He wanted to know what is my least favorite thing about this lifestyle and what is my favorite thing about this lifestyle. I would say my least favorite thing is missing family and friends, being away from my loved ones, and also a lack of routine. It's very difficult to maintain a routine when you're constantly moving from place to place. My favorite thing about this lifestyle is the freedom to pick up and go when and where I want, and travel this amazing, beautiful United States and Canada. And kind of in the same vein, I was asked how I determine where I will be traveling to and my destinations. What is the process? And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't do a whole lot of planning. I usually follow the mild climate. So as soon as spring rolls around, I like to visit the deserts of the Southwest, like Utah, southern Utah. That is when it is most mild. It can get very hot there. So I usually like to do all of my adventures in the Southwest during the spring. Then as the temperatures start to warm up, I start climbing higher up into the mountains, usually the Rockies or the Sierra, and try to get up to where the temperatures are a little bit more temperate. And that's usually it. Weather is a big factor in determining where I go. If the weather is not going to be favorable, and I plan to be in a location for a while, I might decide to move. That happens a lot. Sometimes wildfire smoke makes the decision for me. If it's very smoky in a particular area, I will leave. And then sometimes I know that I want to visit a particular location. Like I did know that I wanted to visit Glacier this year. It's not someplace that I visit every year. I knew that I absolutely wanted to backpack there this year. So I made that happen, which is really awesome. But overall, I don't pre-plan a lot of my travels. Well, I'm back here at headquarters, aka my trailer, aka home base, after more than a month to answer your remaining questions, at least for this Q&A. This question I didn't want to answer until I got back here and was able to inspect the trailer to make sure that no pests have been in here since I've been gone, no rodents to be specific, because I didn't want to jinx myself by answering this on the road and saying that I think that I have this place secured from rodents until I got back here and checked it out. Luckily, I can report no rodents have entered my trailer since I've been gone. This question asks how I keep pests out of my trailer while I'm gone, and it's been trial and error. I have dealt with rodent problems in both my truck camper and here in this trailer. And really what you have to do is secure every single entrance that they can enter through to get into your trailer. It takes trial and error sometimes. Sometimes you miss them. They do like to enter through plumbing lines, and unfortunately the manufacturers usually leave big gaps where the plumbing enters into the trailer from the outside. So you really have to inspect your trailer or camper thoroughly and make sure that any entrance from the outside is sealed off. You can seal it off from the inside and the outside. I use spray foam. They do make spray foam that rodents do not like. And I also, for extra reinforcement, intermingle that with steel wool because they will not chew through steel wool. And that is what I've had to do in this trailer. And I think that now I do have every entrance from the outside sealed off. I received several questions regarding finances, whether I have a retirement plan, how that works for my lifestyle, also what my budget is for monthly expenses. I think I'm going to go ahead and make a separate video on that topic. I'd like to provide you guys with one new bonus video each month. That would be in addition to my Sunday videos. And that's what this is. And I also did one last month. I'm going to try to keep that up. We'll see how that goes. So I'd like to hear from you in the comments below, different topics that you might want me to cover. These will be probably more topic related. So I thought that I would make one specifically on finances in the future. And on a completely different topic, I was asked what my favorite wildlife photograph that I have taken is, and I actually have it hanging here in the trailer. So let me show it to you. That would be this photograph of this snow-covered grizzly bear. I've got a pretty cool story about that. This is available on my website, shameless plug. I do have many of my prints available on my website at katherinegregoryadventures.com. So the story behind that photo is I had run into some photographers that gave me some intel that there was a grizzly bear hanging out roadside about 20 miles east of the south entrance of the Tetons. This was back in 2017. I drove to that location the day prior to getting that photograph, and there he or she was right on the roadside, just as the folks had told me. And it was actually a beautiful fall day. There was no snow on the ground. There was green grass. I got some amazing photos of that same grizzly that day. I decided the next day to go back and see if the grizzly was still there. And there just happened to be a snowstorm that day. It was in the fall, so it's pretty typical to receive snowstorms in the fall in the Tetons. The snow was falling. It was beautiful. Got to the location and there it was. It was just foraging in the snow, and it was one of the most beautiful sights I have ever seen. And I feel so fortunate that I was able to get that photograph. All right, folks, I want to thank everyone who submitted questions. I know that I did not get to all of them, but again, I will be posting bonus videos every month. So there will be a part 2. If you have any topics that you'd like me to cover in videos, go ahead and drop those in the comments below. I'd love to hear about them. I will be back here at headquarters for just a short time before I'm back on the road again, and I am contemplating taking the trailer with me on this next leg. As always, I appreciate you all so much for your support. I hope you enjoyed this Q&A, and I will see you on the next adventure. See you soon, everybody. Bye-bye.